Hello, welcome to Datawise Discovery channel. In this video today, we're going to see about GitHub. Okay, so how does the GitHub work? And we will write some code over here. Okay, so this slide is from the Zaoli. Okay, so this is the version from which I have brought this slide from. Okay, so if you type in the Google GitHub PDF download, then you'll get this file. Okay, so that's where this slide is coming from. Okay, so now in order to start first, we have some agendas. Okay, so the agenda is why use version control system either. Okay, so why use version control system, what are gits and GitHub. Okay, basic git commands, and we are going to say fundamental of GitHub and using GitHub in the project implementation, how to implement our project using the GitHub. Okay, so now why version control, why do we want version control? Okay, so for that I have this, I don't think I have that one. Okay, so version control, so let's create a scenario. Okay, so let's say you are working on, let's say, Django project. Okay, so you made just one change. Okay, so you added that forms.py file. Okay, so and your program breaks. Okay, so it is not working anymore and you want to change it back. You want to go to the original state where it was working perfectly correctly. Okay, so then your program is still broken. Okay, why? You went to the previous state also, then it is still breaking and you are wanting to know the regions. Okay, so after that, has this ever happened to you? Of course we have done enough coding to face this problem. Okay, so why version control? Your program worked well enough yesterday. Okay, so it has nicely worked till yesterday. Then you made a lot of improvements last night, but you have not got them to work. Okay, so you worked whole night for some changes, but when you merge that changes to your original code, it is not working well. So you need to turn in your program now. Okay, so has this ever happened to you? So you want to now submit your program, but overall the project is not working. So you need to turn in your program now. Has this ever happened to you? This is the question. Okay, version control for teams. You change one part of a program, it works. Your co-worker changes another part and it still works. But when you combine that two work, it does not work. Okay, so some change in one part must have broken something in the other part. Okay, so you have changed in one part, so it may have broken the other parts. What were all the changes that we have done so that this code is broken? Okay, so you need to know the situation. Now there is another scenario. You make a number of improvements to a class. Your co-worker makes a number of different improvements to the same class. Okay, so we are working on the same class. How can you merge these changes? Okay, so since we are working on both on the same class, how can we merge these changes? This is the next question. Now, a version control, often called a source code control system, does these things. Okay, so all these things, how to merge these changes, how to, we have already seen in the above, whatever all that change. So all these things can be tracked by GitHub. Okay, a version control system, often called a source control system, does these things: keeps multiple versions of everything, not just source code, requests a comment regarding every change, allows check-in and check-out of the files so you know which files someone else is working on. Okay, so displays the differences between the versions, so you want to know what the differences between my previous version and my current version. Benefits of version control: for working by yourself, it gives you a time machine for going back to the earlier version. Okay, so you can go back to your old nice days, but in form of coding only. Okay, so gives you a great support for a different version. Okay, standalone web app of the same basic project. Okay, for working with another, so if you are working on the project which is being uh, you are working on a project which is also being seen by many programmers of your company, and you are also changing some part of the, so you are building some features in that code. Okay, so you need to work together. So greatly this version control greatly simplifies concurrent work, meaning all the developers can work on some part of the features at the same time. Okay, and this merging of these changes. So you may be thinking, what is GitHub and what is Git? Okay, so Git is nothing but a open source distributed version control system designed to handle everything from small to very large project with speed and efficiency. Okay, so Git resides in our local computer. Okay, so and GitHub is a web-based Git repository uh, hosting service which offers all of the distributed revision control and source code management, that's SCM functionality of the Git, as well as adding its own feature. Okay, so I think Git resides in our own computer, and GitHub is the hosting service. Okay, so it hosts all our, it is the place where all of our code resides. Okay, so if we do push, we'll see this part later. Okay, so download all the install of the GitHub desktop. This will automatically, so it is going over there. Let me go back. Okay, so here is the link. Okay, so it is not working over here. So let me go back over here. So is this the code in Git and GitHub? So you can download this GitHub desktop also. This will automatically install Git and keep you up to date. Okay, so and the other way to download a Git is just type over here Git download. Okay, so Git download and you will get the Git software. Okay, so once your computer open Git shell application. Okay, so I'll show you how to install Git. Okay, so go to over here, just type Git download and go to this Git download Git. Okay, so if you have Mac OS, download from here. If you have Windows, download from here. Linux and if you have Linux and Unix, you download over here. So this is super simple, so I'm not going to it. Pause this video, download this and play next video after you download that Git. Okay, so after that what you need to do is go over here and open the Git shell application lines with the appropriate changes. Okay, so over here what I'm going to do is now go to my files. Okay, So I'll go to my files. So let me go to the file. Let me go to the desktops. I need to keep it over here. So let me go to my file where my Django projects are presented. So let me go to where it is, Django tutorial and Django YouTube. So I think I placed it in, what is it, Django tutorial. Okay, let me check. Where am I? Let me go to this Udemy Django, but there is nothing over here. Where is that task Django? Okay, so I'm let me go back over here. Let me go back. Here is something known as Django Spotlight. So let me go over here. Above here there is something known as, let's say, ORM. Okay, so I want to open my Git. After you install that Git, you will get this Git bash. Okay, so go to the Git bash. Okay, so after going to the Git bash, you need to just go to where you're, so you need to write this command. Okay, so go over here, just do like this, Control plus for little bit bigger. Okay, so I'm making it a little bit bigger so that you can see it. So over here what you need to write is git config. So first of all you need to go to the GitHub and make your own account. Okay, so GitHub, go to the GitHub, not PDF download. If you do this GitHub PDF download, what you see over here in the second one is the slide which I am using. Okay, so GitHub, go to just GitHub, open this GitHub, open it. Now over here there is I already have my GitHub account. Okay, so I will just to sign in, but if you don't have a GitHub account, then you just need to do sign up. Okay, so do the sign up things, that's also easy. Okay, so let me type my password over here. This is my password. Okay, after going inside my GitHub, okay, so here I have already created this repository. Okay, simple project. Now over here I'll create the repository. So I'll say YouTube GitHub. Okay, so after doing this, I will keep this GitHub as, let's say, public only. So I'll not do any changes over here. I'll just do create repositories. Okay, so after creating these repositories, let me go to that ORM folder again. So over here, let me go inside this over here. I am going to again open my bash. Okay, so I am going to remove that previous one, bring it over here, go to the tutorial, and over here what you need to type is nothing but git config just as global, and you need to provide the username. So my username was Mohan Orwell. Okay, so if I hit enter, so I think it has, or you only need to do this once. Okay, so if you want to use a different a name or address for a particular project, you can change it for just that project. Do cd to the project directory, but leave out global. Okay, so you need to leave out this global one. If I do this once, it will be set for the whole project only. Okay, so global means I want to save this information in my computer only. Okay, so this is the thing. So top level, your top level working directory contains everything about your project. Okay, so I am now going to go inside this. So this is my top level project tree. Okay, so at over here, the working directory probably contains many subdirectories. It may contain your source code, binaries, documentation, data files, and etc. One of these subdirectories named .git is your repository. Okay, so at the time you can take the snapshot of everything in your project directory and put it in your repository. Okay, so let me show you next picture also. Okay, so in GitHub, let me go to the images. Okay, let me go to GitHub architecture. Let me go to GitHub architecture diagram. Let me show you. Okay, so how does this work generally? Okay, so over here there is something known as working directory. Okay, so this is your working directory before using any part of your git. Okay, so where it has it gone? Sorry for that. And over here there is something known as working directory. Okay, so what I showed you previously was my working directory. So if I do git add, then it will send it me to the staging area. Okay, so if I want to go from staging area to local repository, I just do git commit, and this is still in my local machine. Okay, so these three steps are still in my local machine. In order to push it to the my GitHub remote repository, what I need to do is git push, and if I want to bring the project that are present in the GitHub to my own local repository, I can just do git clone. Okay, so this much thing I hope you understand it. So let me go to where is my slide. Okay, let me go to my slide first. Let me close this one. Okay, so anytime you can take a snapshot of everything. Okay, so every state of your project will be recorded in your project directory level and put it in your project repository. This snapshot is called a commit object. Okay, so when you do the commit, you are just taking the snapshot. Okay, so the commit object contains one set of files. Okay, so it contains two things. All the files will be contained over there, obviously references to the parents of the commit object. Okay, and a unique SHA1 name, SSA1 name. It will consist these three things. Okay, commit objects do not require huge amount of memory. Okay, so commit objects do not require huge memory. You can work as much as you like in your working directory, but a repository is not updated until you commit something. Okay, so you have what is known as local repository. Okay, so this is a local repo. It will not be updated unless you do commit command. Okay, so you do commit command, then only this local repository will change. So there is two command, that's init and git repository. So when you say git init in your project directory, or when you cloned an existing project, you created a repository. The repository is a subdirectory named .git containing various files. Okay, so the dot indicates the hidden file. Let's do this first and see it in working. Okay, so I'll do git init. Okay, so if I do git init, so it has initialized the empty git repository. So let me do ls. Okay, so will it show me .git over here? No, I need to do -a. It also, yes, ls -a. So it has created me this git also. Okay, so this will basically be hidden. The repository is a subdirectory named .git containing various files. Okay, so if you go inside that Git also, there are various files. Where am I? So the dot indicates a hidden directory. Okay, so dot indicates that this is a hidden directory. Okay, so you will not see it. You do not work directly with the component of that directory. Okay, so you will not change go inside this file and change all this. You don't do that. You do not work directly with the contents of that directory. Various git commands do that for you. Okay, so we have various commands. Okay, so you do your work in your project directory as usual. Okay, so you write your Django code in BS Studio and you don't do anything. If you create your files and or folders, if they are not tracked by Git, unless you ask it to do so. Okay, so we want to track our what changes we have made in our project. We want to track that. In order to do that, we will do git add, and for now I'll just do add all. Okay, so this dot means track all these files and that are present in that directory. Okay, so if I hit enter, then it will create a, it will track that folder. Okay, committing changes makes a snapshot of everything being tracked into your repository. Let me see the git status. Okay, so what is this? Changes to be committed. We have not yet commits. Okay, no commits yet. So in order to commit this whatever that is present in my, whatever I have said to track, if I want to them to be committed, so what should I do? Git commit m, this is for masses. So first commit of Django. Okay, so I'll do first commit of Django. So if I hit enter, git, if I do git status, so on the branch master, nothing to commit, working tree clean. Okay, so all things have been committed. This person opens an editor for you, enter the message to finish and save and quit the editor. Format of the commit message is one line containing that the complete summary. If more than one line, the second line must be the blank. Commit and graphs. What are commits and graph? A commit is when you tell the git that a change you have made is ready to be included in the project. Okay, so you have made some changes and if you want to include that thing in the project, you just to commit. When you commit, your change to git. Okay, so it has only been to the local repository. Okay, so it creates a commit object. Okay, so when you do the commit, it will create you the commit object. Commit object represents the state of the project, including all files in the project. Okay, so you have that represent the state we have also previously seen. The very first commit objects has no parents. Okay, so this has no parents. Usually you take some commit object, make some changes and create a new commit object. Okay, so you take that commit object, make some changes, okay, and create a new object. The original commit is the parent of the new commit object. Okay, so if I do this commit first and if anyone wants to do again commit, and then the first commit that I did will be the parents. Okay, hence most commit objects have a single parent. You can also merge two commits to form a new one. Okay, so you can form that two commit. The new commit has two parents. Okay, so obviously that has two parents, hence commit objects forms a directed graph. Git is all about using and manipulating these graphs. Okay, so after that I have did commit and all these things. In Git, commits are cheap. Okay, do them often Okay, you can do as much as you like. When you commit, you must provide a one-line message stating what you have done, which you have seen also. Okay, so terrible message, fixed or bounds of things, don't write these kinds of things. Okay, so better message is corrected which part of the code. So corrected the calculation of median scores is looks more, gives more information what you have done in this commit. Okay, commit message can be very helpful to yourself as well as your team members. You cannot say much in one line, so commit often. Okay, so there is something known as git status. See what the git things is going on. Okay, so we have seen that also. Use this frequently. Work on your files. So git add your edit files. Okay, so do git commit -m. See what you did over in your message, keeping it simple. If you make sure you are current with the central repository, make some changes, make some improvements to the code, update the central repository before anyone else does. Then you don't have to worry about the resolving conflicts. Okay, so you find some error in your central repository, so before anyone finds it, you make that changes. Okay, so now you need not to worry about the resolving the conflicts or working with multiple branches. All the complexity in the gits comes up from dealing with these. Okay, so if you have problem, if you find it, do the change as early as possible. Okay, so therefore make sure you are up to date before starting to work. Okay, so you need to check whether you are updated to that remote repository or not. Commit and update the central repository frequently. Okay, so here is all the things. So more commands, don't get scared. Okay, so to change directly from remote to repository without going through that staging area, we can just do fetch our column. Okay, so here is our workspace. So it is like, here is our workspace. If we do add, then it will do what is known as staging area. Okay, so from staging area we just do commit and we just put it in our local repository. If we push that code, it will go to the remote repository. In order to bring some code from the remote repository to the local repository, we need to do fetch or clone. Okay, so you can use GitHub desktop also. Okay, so you can go on these sites. Okay, introduce it yourself to the git. You can go to these sites and you can see how to use these things. Okay, so creating a branch for your work. A branch is a parallel version of the main line of development in the repository, or the default branch. Usually the master use branch to develop features. Okay, so if you want to develop the features, you should use the branch that is working parallel with your main branch. And if you want to fix some bugs, safety experiment with new ideas, you need to do it in your branch. Synchronizing your branch. As the commits are pushed to your project on GitHub, you can keep your local copy of the project in sync with the remote repository. Okay, so whatever that is going on in the remote repository, we need to be able to track that changes. Okay, so we need to do that first. Okay, we need to track whatever the things that have been going on in the remote repository. Viewing the history of your commits. Okay, how to view your history of the commit? When you click a commit on the commit timeline, you can see a more detail about the commit, including a difference of changes the commit introduced. Okay, first time you did a commit and the second time you changed the some code and did comment, and you can see what changes you made. Okay, so each commit shows the commit message, that's good. The time of the commit was created, that also good. The committer's username, so who committed these things, and profile photo if available. So the commit sa1 has, okay, so there is also the sa1 has associated with that commit. Revert your commit, you don't want to do it commit, you want to take it back. Okay, if you change your mind about a commit after you create it, you can revert the commit. When you revert to a previous commit, the revert is also a commit. Okay, so in addition, the original commit remains in the repository history. Okay, so whatever you have done commit, the local repository contains that history. Okay, there is something known as fork or pull, that's a collaborative model. So a fork is a copy of the repository that you manage. Okay, so copy of repository that you manage. Fork let you make changes to a project without affecting the original repository. Okay, so it will let you changes to a project without affecting the original repository. You can fetch updates from or submit changes to the original repository with the pull request. A great example of using forks to propose changes is for bug fixes rather than, so when you use the fork to for the to fix the bugs that are present in your code. Okay, so rather than logging an issue for a bug you have found, you can fork the repository. Okay, so you can work on the forking repository and make the fix. Okay, so you found the code for the repository, make it fix and submit a pull request to the project owner. Okay, so now you need to submit a pull request using a GitHub in project implementation. In this section of the project implementation in a project report, you may describe how to use GitHub in your project, how version control helps your quality management, how you collaborate with your teammate in GitHub. So these are the references. Okay, so you can take. So that's it for now. In the next video I'll bring the detail on how to do it by using this git bash. Okay, so we have seen few commands now, so we will see how to push this code to the GitHub in our next video. Okay, so for this much for now. If you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe my channel, and be busy and working hard, keep working hard. So cheers.